Hi everybody! So I am back from VP Retreat 2017, which was incredible. So I hope you've managed to see some of the photos that we've posted. I've put an album on my personal page and I've put an album on the Hello Future Friends Family All Welcome page. So I hope you can have a little look at that. Anyone can be at VP Retreat next year, and it's going to be at the same venue, roughly the same time of year as well, so really exciting. All you have to do to be at that event is be a vice president, which is the third level, so only obviously 4 levels, so third level upwards, which basically means that your monthly turnover in your business is $40,000 upwards. So fantastic. So I'm going to run you through some of the things that we did and that I learned from the retreat, because it was incredible. Now I'm not going to be able to go through everything because you kind of just have to be there to take it all in. Connie Podesta was our keynote speaker. She was flown over from the USA. She had a whole day with us training, and a lot of it was like role play. She's basically put out to the room what are the biggest, what takes up most of your time and doing Arbonne, and for most people it was coaching people in their team and helping people in their team move forward. So she was like, what are the, tell me what it sounds like when your team have got an issue, like you be the person in your team and I'll be you. So people were like putting their hands up. So for example, if she came over to me, I might pretend to be somebody in my team that says something like, you know, I really want to do Arbonne. I really want to be a national vice president. I really want to be earning £10,000 a month upwards. You know, I want a multi-million-pound business. I want to be more confident. I want everything Arbonne gives me, but people aren't joining my business. So something like that. So she was then giving examples of how to address that and what to say. And it was phenomenal. It was so good. So a lot of it, I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly everything that she said, because there was so much of it. I can't remember all of it, but it was really good. So you kind of did have to be there really to get everything from the event. But I'm hopefully going to be able to give you some snippets and give you some corporate updates as well. So got our gorgeous notebook. We got lavished with gifts. Not only do we have a spa day, Fiona had this like amazing massage. The NVP's got incredible treatments. We got gifts. We got makeup products. We got this gorgeous spa bucket set with everything in it. We got a Michael Kors bracelet. Loads. So I filled this notebook filled with notes. So I'm going to go through first of all what we did on the Monday. We did a full spa day. And the Monday night, I actually went to bed at like 8 o'clock. I was in bed with Laura Leggett, and she was on the phone and doing Zoom calls, and I just fell asleep. She was like, oh, I didn't fall asleep till like midnight, but I fell asleep. So last year and the year before, I've actually gone out on the Monday night for dinner with all the other VPs, which is absolutely what you can do. But I actually went to bed really early because I landed that day from Egypt and went straight to VP Retreat. I was really jet lagged and tired, so I was a bit of a wimp and went to bed early. So Tuesday was the day where we had Connie all day. So I'm going to start off on the Tuesday. So Connie Podesta got us to draw out 4 shapes, so a square, a triangle, a circle, and a squiggle. Just ignore that cross for now. And the first thing she did was, she said, how did everyone draw their squiggle? She was like, did you do it across, so like how I've done mine? And she was like, that shows parts of your personality. If you did your squiggle going from up down, so that way, that means something. If you did it across or just drew like a massive scribble like that, she was like, you're really weird. So that started off being quite funny, how you draw your squiggle. And then she said, look at those 4 shapes and put a cross through one of them that feels the most like you, that just is drawing out to you. Just if you were a personality, was one of those shapes, which one is you? So I put my cross through a circle, and obviously people put their crosses through different things, and that means something about your personality. So hopefully you picked one of these shapes. So this is what it means, and hopefully you can think about people that you know that are these shapes as well. So she got all the squares to stand up in the room. And interestingly enough, the squares were the corporate people as well. So the people in corporate, Ian Pritchard, Sarah Dunning, Glenn Robb, who else was a square? I'm trying to think who else. I can't think. Not lots of other squares, but like the real, you know, the top professional, this is how we do it, take no rubbish type people. They stood up as the square. So this is what it means to be a square. So these people are detailed, structured, everything is in order. They like lists. They even like lists just to tick things off, even stuff they've already done. They write it down their list just to tick it off. Their downfall is they don't like the word team. So they just think, if you're going to give me a job, I'm just going to do it myself. Like, what's the point in distributing different jobs? If it's going to be done right, I need to be the one that does it. I've written down, give me a job, fine, but get off my back and let me just get on with it. They are hard working. Squares are really hard working. Squares hate meetings. So one of the other shapes that we'll talk about in a minute are always booking meetings. Squares hate meetings. They don't like meetings. They get sick of it. A square's office is boring. It looks like it died 2 years ago. Everything is in order and looks like it hasn't moved. Looks like like I said, someone's died 2 years ago and they've not touched their desk since. What else about squares? I think that's it at the minute. Okay, right, moving on. Triangles. So this was Laura Leggett, Nikki Marchant. Who else stood up as a triangle? Stan Mork is a triangle. Can't think who else at the minute. So triangles, they don't like negative feedback. They've got a bit of a temper. They are perfectionists. They always think they're right. No matter what, they'll argue to the death that they're right. They've got OCD. They love multitasking, but they never finish anything. They pass it on to the squares to finish. Triangles hate to lose. They don't care about winning. They just hate to lose. Triangles make a meeting for everything. They'll make a meeting to make a meeting. So they'll be like, we need to make a meeting so that we can talk about making a meeting for next week. They love meetings. And the squares get annoyed because the triangles are always making meetings just for the sake of making meetings. So they can just boss everybody around and be like, right, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. And the circles, they hate the triangles meetings because there's never any food at it. Their triangles office space their office space just overlaps into everybody else's office space. They've got their office space, but their stuff is everywhere. It's on the dining room table, it's in the kitchen, it's near the front door. Or if you're actually working in an office, it's over somebody else's office. It's literally everywhere. So that's a bit about the triangles. So the circle. So I stood up for a circle. So a circle is somebody that loves the fun. They love to be liked. They love to be sociable. They don't mind meetings as long as they're quite interesting, they're quite short, and there's food at them. So as long as there's food, a circle's fine. So a circle likes to eat all the time, like little and often. A circle, also as well, triangles and squares are, if they set a time, they get there 15 minutes early. So if they set the time for 10 o'clock, triangles and squares are there at 9:45, and the circles get there dead on 10 o'clock or maybe a few minutes late, and that really winds the squares and triangles up. So even though they got there at 10, the triangles and the squares are there at 9:45, and it irritates them. So circles get there either on time or a few minutes late. Circles like meetings as long as they're fun and there's food. Circles desks looks like a daycare centre. It's pretty, there's mugs, there's posters, there's plants, there's like bunting, it's all pretty. So that's a little bit about a circle. And then the squiggles. So the squiggles, Connie Podesta is a squiggle, Zoe Allen's a squiggle. So they march to their own drumbeat, really. They just do their own thing. They don't go in line with what everybody else is doing. They do their own thing. They've got tons of ideas. They're not organised at all. They live by post-it notes. Post-it notes everywhere. It's the post-it notes that actually enable them to survive through life. Don't tell squiggles what to do because they have authority issues. They hate being told what to do. Squiggles forget meetings. So if you book a meeting, they'll forget it anyway. A squiggle doesn't have an office space. Their stuff is just in their car, in their handbag, just goes with them, really. So that's a little bit about the shape. So that was really interesting. Okay, so then she went on to the 3 most important relationships in life that you will ever have that you need to really work on. So 3 most important relationships in life. First of all, your relationship with money. So she was talking about how most people grow up with a really negative relationship with money. So this is where people in their families, when they've been a child, their parents have said things like, oh, we don't have a lot of money, but we're good people, or we don't have a lot of money, but you know, we get by, or we don't have a lot of money, but we've got each other. And by saying things like that, like, you can understand why your parents would have said that. But what you're basically saying is, if you have money, you're bad people. And even though they didn't say that, to the subconscious, you're saying you're good people if you don't have money. So a lot of people are brought up with a really bad relationship with money. And she says you need to work on your relationship with money, because it's money that is going to enable you to change the world. It's going to enable you to move that money into avenues that are going to make a difference. And if you're a better person, you impact the world in a much better way. So you need to have a good relationship with money. So really work on that. Books, audios, make sure that you've got passive income. or you're working on having a passive income, you've got that plan B income coming in, money that you can do things with that enable you to have choices. The second most important relationship you'll have in your life is your relationship with food. So she was talking about most people are either overeating or undereating. And she was saying about how years and years ago, people used to have really healthy lifestyles. They'd eat from the land, you know, no pesticides, no messing around with food, and they'd lead healthy lives. And when they were ready to die, they would just die. They would just die of old age. That would be that. And she was saying now, because of the way that we have this unhealthy relationship with food, people spend years dying. So, for example, she said, if you look at people growing old, they spend like 10 to 15 years dying of disease, dying of cancer, dying of dementia, dying of Alzheimer's, dying of their limbs giving up on them slowly. She was like, it's a long, slow, painful death. And she was saying, healthy people just die, like they live their life and they die. Majority of the time, obviously, I'm not talking about people that get hit by cars and stuff like that. I'm just talking about when your body is ready to die. So healthy people just die. And she was saying, you know, would you rather, when your body is ready to die, just die, or would you rather spend 10 years dying of disease and illness and ailments? And I know which one that I'd rather. And she said, you've only got to look at old people's homes. People are spending years dying. It's to do with poor health. And she was saying that a lot of poor health comes down to food, like what we're fueling our body with. And she was saying, if you you wouldn't what did she say, if you bought, I think she said, if you bought £1 billion horse, I'm sure this is right, if you bought £1 billion horse, would you feed it Coke and the drink Coke? Would you feed it McDonald's? Would you feed it, you know, all this junk that we're eating, crisps and chocolate? No, you wouldn't. You would, you know, this thoroughbred £1 billion horse that you bought, not that I'm a horse person, I don't know anything about horses, but she was like, you would feed it the best of the best and water, and, you know, you'd really nurture that, the body of that horse that you bought. She was like, your body's no different. You know, it's the only body you're going to live in. It is £1 billion body that you're living in. You know, if you wouldn't take your eyeballs out and give them to somebody else for £10,000, then they're worth way more to you than that. If you wouldn't cut off your arms to give them to somebody else for £50,000, then they're worth more to you than that. You know, would you cut off your ears to give to somebody else that they can hear for £100,000? If the answer is no, then your body is worth like £1 billion. So treat it like you would treat anything that you paid £1 billion for. And she said, in your house, don't have crap. She was like, do not have crap to eat in your house. She says, all you should have in your house is 3 things. She said, fruit, a salad or vegetables, it came into sort of the same category, and some sort of protein. So she did eat meat, and she said, you know, meat, if you're not a meat eater, which most people in the room weren't, and then she was like protein, so like chickpeas, lentils, some sort of protein like that. She was like, that you shouldn't really have anything else in your house. Bread is just refined sugar. People are addicted to bread because they're addicted to the sugar in it. Crisps, chocolate, rice has got sugar in it, pasta's got sugar in it. She goes, just don't have it in your house, because when you go out, eat it, it's a little treat. Go out, you know, go to somebody's house for dinner, fine. She goes, but in your home, just don't have it. And she goes, and when your kids say, oh, can I have a biscuit, can I have crisps, if you haven't got it, you haven't got it. And if they want it, if they can drive and they're old enough, they've got to get into their car and go and get it for themselves. And she said, and so have you. So if you fancy ice cream in the middle of the night, you can have ice cream, but you've got to get up, you've got to get dressed, you've got to get into your car, you've got to drive down, you've got to go and buy it to come back. And if you're willing to do that, great. If you're not, then you don't really want the ice cream. So just don't have it in your house. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, that's amazing. So that's definitely something that I'm taking from this, and just, I'm not going to have it in my house. And then the third relationship that she said you need, that is important, is your relationship with intimacy. So I've written down, are you a person able to love other people? Are you a person able to trust other people? Can you allow yourself to be loved? So this is like working on yourself. What is your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your children, your relationship with other people, your spouse? You know, it's important. And your relationship with other people always comes back to your relationship with yourself. So those are the 3 relationships that you need to really work on. So your relationship with money, your relationship with food, and your relationship with intimacy. She said leadership is basically just loving people. So love yourself and love others, and believe that others can love you as well. So she said the only 2 things that we need to teach people about how to build our business, only 2 things that we need to teach people, is how to sell and how to sponsor. She was like, that's it. Everything else needs to come down to how to sell, how to sponsor. And she said it will take you about 4 months to teach somebody how to sell, how to sponsor. And then you're just there to support them. Like, as long as they know how to sell the products and how to sponsor people into the business. Just after that initial period, you are there just to support them and coach them and guide them. But you don't need to teach them how to sell, how to sponsor, because once you've told somebody how to do it, that's it. It's like learning how to ride a bike. You teach somebody how to ride a bike, and that might take 4 months. You teach them how to ride a bike, how to balance on the bike, and how to pedal, because there's the 2 different things. But then after that, they can ride their bike. You can support them on their bike journey. Sorry. You can support them on their triathlons that they do. You can guide them, you can coach them when they say they're tired, they can't do it anymore, they think they're crazy. You can support them, guide them, and coach them, but you can't teach them again how to pedal and how to balance. You've done that's done now. So then it's just coaching them and guiding them and being there for them. What was really interesting. Okay, she goes, there's 3 different tones in how we speak to people. So we speak to people in an adult tone, we speak to people in a child tone, and we speak to people in a parent tone. So it's really interesting. I need to sneeze again. She goes, when you have a conversation with somebody, the words that you use are actually 3rd on the list for importance. The 2nd thing on the list that beats the words that you use is your facial expression. Interesting. And then the number 1, the top most important thing that you use when you speak to somebody that beats the words that you use and beats facial expression, number 1 is tone. So very interesting. So you need to be careful what tone you're using. So the parental tone, this is the tone that is heard the majority of the times. This is quite patronizing, and the parental tone is how you talk to your children. So if you're talking to people in your team, it's that almost patronizing feel, like, well, you know, you just need to go out there and meet new people. You know, it's that quite patronizing tone, and people don't mean it, but they are talking in a parental tone. The adult tone is the only one that will get anyone to change their behaviour. Talking to people from an adult tone, from adult to adult tone, when you're on the same sort of energy field, is the only tone really that you need to use. Talking to people in the child tone, you're coming from hurt or anger. So the child tone is like your child having a paddy, asking for a biscuit, and you say no, and then whining and whinging. And when you do talk in the child tone, that's where you've got the hurt and the anger in that. These are the 2 most manipulative tones in the world, which are hurt and anger. And she said most people either go with the hurt part of this or the anger part of this. So she said, when you're really upset, do you go to hurt or do you go to anger? And she got people to stand up. So she got everybody to stand up that was hurt. So that was me. I'm a hurt person over anger person. And she said, when you're in this tone, in the hurt tone, we then start communicating like a child, which is whining, complaining, blame. We get sick. You only really get sick when you're in this child hurt tone. We become the victim. Guilt comes out. We withdraw attention from people, stop talking to people, cut people off. Our goal is to make somebody feel guilty for what they've done. So that is like the hurt tone, and it is not a good place to be in. And the other one is the anger tone. So she got everybody to stand up that's more, that leans more towards the anger reaction over the hurt reaction. And this is where life's not fair. It's like an old tape playing again. Like, why has this happened to me? You know, you're exploding, you're throwing things out there that are not relevant to anything. So she goes, they come from that child tone, and you need to be really wary of this and not go into this hurt and anger zone, because it's not a good place to be. It's not healthy at all. Okay, so another thing she said that was really interesting was about children. So she said 20 years ago, she did a study on what parents wanted the most from their children, what they wanted their children to grow up learning the most, what they wanted children to accomplish growing up. And the top 3 were, number 1, be respectful of people and their ideas. That was the top thing that parents said they wanted of their children 20 years ago. Number 2 was for their children to be hard workers, to not give up when things are tough, if they're going to learn how to swim, to not give up just because it got a little bit hard. And, you know, really be hard workers. And she said the biggest problem with teachers these days isn't that, the biggest problem with teachers quitting these days, isn't that teachers are finding the kids hard, it's finding the parents hard. You know, if a kid doesn't do well at school on a topic because they just don't do well at it, the parents go in and kick off that the kid didn't do well at it. So she was giving some examples, and she had different teachers give different examples of this, and it all came down to the parents. And she said that it's not a teacher's job to parent your children, it's the parents' job. And then number 3, 20 years ago, what parents said was important for their children was to be compassionate. So yeah, I thought, yeah, that's really good. Then she did the study again now, so 20 years later now, and she asked parents what they wanted of their children, and what came out above anything else was people wanted their children to be happy. And this got me, because that's what I would have said if she'd asked me personally, what do you want of your children? I said, I just want my children to be happy. And so that's what most people say, because this is a problem, because basically people need to learn to find their own happiness. So for example, when I was growing up, bad things happened like it does to anybody, and I had to learn to get through those bad times, and I had to learn to be hardworking at the things that I was doing, rather than just say, when I got my first paper round and I realized paper rounds are hard, like any job is, if I just quit because I just wanted to be happy and thought, well, I'm not happy doing this, so I'll just quit, I'd never have learned the things that I learned through hard work and perseverance. And if I asked somebody what their opinion was on something, and they said something that I didn't like, didn't make me happy, and I just cut them off and was like, no, I'm not happy with them, I'm not happy with this conversation, I just cut them off. I'm not being open-minded to other people's ideas. I'm not being respectful of other people's different opinions, not being compassionate of them. So she was saying that you shouldn't want your children to be happy. You should want them to be respectful of other people's other people and their ideas. You should want your children to be hardworking. She goes, the amount of teenagers and 20-year-olds that get jobs and quit because they're not happy and go to the next job, and quit because they're not happy and go to the next job, quit because they're not happy. She said, if you just said to them, stick this job out because you're going to learn so much, you know, doesn't matter what you want to be, because most people don't know what they want to be until 30, 40. So just stick the job out that you're doing, stick the hobby out that you're doing, stick your marriage out, stick this out, because that's what you should be doing, not just quitting because you're not happy. You should be able to make your own happiness. And every time us as parents, you know, give our child something because they're crying and we just want them to be happy, which I definitely do, because you're taking away their power. You're taking that power away from them because they're not learning to make their own happiness. You're just giving it to them. And she said it's not good. It's really, really, really not good. It's like wishing that your child would just learn to walk without falling over. You know, that you're taking away their power if you are constantly holding your child to walk and you're never enabling them to learn to walk for themselves. So that was really interesting. That was good. Okay, so she said, tell people the truth. When you're sponsoring people into this business, tell them that it is a job. She said, if there's two things in life, one's a hobby and one's a job. And she said, if it costs you money, it is a hobby, and that's absolutely fine. If you want a hobby, you're going to spend money and you're going to get something out of it because it's, you know, it's enjoyment. She says, if you want to make money, it's a job. So don't tell people that this is easy. Tell them it's hard work. Like anything, it's a job. It is a job that you have to actually do something to earn money. And obviously, the only two things that we have to do are sell and sponsor, sell and sponsor, sell and sponsor, sell and sponsor. And she said, yeah, it's you know, when people say, you know, I don't want to sell, and you say to them, okay, well, I hear you, you don't want to sell. Can I just ask you a quick question? People say, yeah. Say, have you ever, you know, recommended a hairdresser? Have you ever recommended a film? Have you ever recommended a restaurant? Think of something. Have you ever recommended something? And everybody will say, yeah, absolutely. And say, when you did that recommendation, was that coming from a place of honesty, that you had an honest, you know, appreciation for what it is you're recommending? And most people say, yeah, of course, you know, I wouldn't recommend a restaurant that I didn't enjoy. You go, okay, great. So you didn't feel like you were selling. You said no. Say, well, I know that when I say to you that we've got to sell and sponsor, when you hear the word sell, you're thinking of that cringy car salesman that's just, you know, trying to get people through the door and get them to buy something, aren't you? And they're like, yeah. I go, okay, that's not what we do, but I understand where that perception's come from. If that was what we did, I wouldn't be doing that. What we do is we use these products and we make genuine, honest recommendations. We consult people on what it is they're looking for. Some people are not looking for our products. Our products aren't for everybody. But the people that are looking for more, are looking for healthier products, they're looking for alternative, safer, pure, safe, beneficial products, we have them. We make a recommendation. They get to have an at-home trial or a sample. They get a full 6-week money-back guarantee. We are purely being paid to make an honest recommendation. That is what I mean by sell. And then most people go, oh my gosh, like, yeah, that makes complete sense. So it's your definition of sell, because we do sell, but we don't sell like that cringy car salesman that people think of. It's an honest recommendation that we're just being paid for if somebody is happy with the service that we provide them with. So we need to tell people it's a job. You know, you actually do have to work. If we're telling people, yeah, you wake up in the morning and you just get to sit in your pajamas all day and we don't really do anything, you know, you're attracting lazy people. And what's going to happen is people are going to join because they're attracted to, you know, a get rich quick scheme, make money quick fits. And then they realise that they're not going to get paid because they're not doing anything. And then they start whinging and whining because they're like, it's not working. And it's because you didn't tell them it was a job. You told them it was easy. And that's what we need to stop doing. Is you need to say to people, okay, so this is an example she said to people. You need to say, look, Janet, yeah, when she says to you about it, say, yeah, it is a job. It's a tough job, but it's one of the coolest jobs ever. And here's why. So I know that you could go into corporate or another high-flying job, but here's what's great about what we do. We get to choose our own hours. It's flexible. We don't have to ask for time off when we want to go to sports day for our children, swimming lessons, to our parents, to the hospital, or whatever it is that we want to do. We get to choose our flexible hours around what we want to do. And then we help people. We build up new friendships, referrals through people, and we consult people on having a healthier lifestyle. And we are paid a phenomenally high income for doing that job. It is amazing. Yes, it's work. Yes, like any job, like any business, there are times where it is hard, like anything, parenting, even being friends with somebody comes with its own challenges because you're dealing with people. It's no different. You have to be self-motivated. You actually have to do something, but it is incredible. You know, even when I go through a month, I think, gosh, I had a real lot of stumbling blocks there, and there was some times where it was really quite challenging, but it gets to the end of the month and you get your paycheck, and it's probably the same amount of money that you used to earn previously in your last job in a year, you're now getting for a month's work, and you sit there and you think it was worth it all. So, you know, think about that. Stop attracting lazy people into your business and then complaining that you've got lazy people within your team. And also, you get to move up the ladder faster as well in Arbonne. You get to start, and if you want to get to the top level within 6 months, you absolutely can. So, you know, that's much better than corporate. Okay, so she said within your team, it's split into percentages. So you've got the top 30% of your team. These are the people that are self-motivated, they are willing, and they are able to do the business. And with or without you, they're going to the top of this business. So 30% of people in your team that are absolutely doing this, whether you drop dead or not, they're doing it. They don't really need you. They're doing it anyway. But she said you actually only end up giving 20% of your time to this 30% of your business. And even though they don't need you, it's easy to forget about them because they're just doing it anyway. But actually, do you know what? Do give more of your time to them because they still need that support. Even though they're going to do it anyway, give them your support, give them your time and energy. Put more time into those top 30%. Then you've got your middle 40%. So the middle 40% of your team, these are the people that are willing, but they are unable. So they still need you. They need you to teach them how to sell and how to sponsor again. Even though you've already done it, they just need you to tell them again and again and again. And then eventually they'll get it and they'll move to the top 30%. So they're willing to do it, they're just unable. Whereas the top 30%, they're willing and able. So the middle 40%, they aren't quite yet as good as what they can be, but they're going in that right direction and they need you. And these people, we end up only giving 5% of our time to these people, and they need us the most. They need us to help push them into that top 30%. They are willing, they're just not quite able. So they just need a bit more support and a bit more coaching on selling and sponsoring. So that's your middle 40%. Then you've got your bottom 30%. So the bottom 30% of your team, these are the people that are doing it for a hobby. It's costing them money, which is fine as long as they accept that. But a lot of people don't. They think they're in business, but they're kind of not actually doing anything. So when you say to them, you know, so these are the bottom 30%, when they're saying to you, I'm not really getting anywhere, and you say to them, okay, well, how many people did you speak to last week about the business to sponsor them, and how many people last week did you speak to about the products to sell them products? And they're like, no one. You're like, okay, so you didn't open your shop up last week? And they're like, well, not really, no. And you're like, okay, well, you didn't actually do anything last week then. So I can only coach and guide people that are in business, that are actually meeting new people and talking to people. No, you can't do anything with anybody that's not meeting new people and talking to people. It's a hobby for them. You can't do anything about that. It's like teaching somebody to ride a bike that's not willing to get on the bike. You can't do anything about that. And you can't force them to get on a bike if they don't want to get onto the bike. You just have to say to them, when you're ready to get on the bike, I will be here for you. I will teach you how to pedal, and I will teach you how to balance on that bike, which are only the two things that you need to learn to ride a bike. But until you're ready to sit on the bike with your hands on the handlebars and your feet on the pedals, until you're ready to do that, I can't do anything for you. You can look at the bike, it can be a hobby for you, you can clean the bike, you know, you can do whatever you want with the bike without getting on the bike, and that's a hobby. But until you're ready to get on the bike, I cannot do anything for you. But call me the moment you're ready to get on the bike, and we're going to teach you how to pedal and how to balance, how to sponsor, how to sell. Okay, so this bottom 30%, these are the people that are unwilling and unable. And these people take up 75% of our time, which is crazy. They're unwilling and they're unable. They're seeing it as a hobby, which is fine, but don't let them take up 75% of your time. These are the people that are always whining. They're always like, I'm not sponsoring, I'm not selling, there's nobody that wants to do this and nobody wants to do that, blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, okay, that's fine. You know, you're self-employed. I can't coach you if you're not willing to get on the bike, but it's absolutely fine. You know, my business is still going to grow with or without you, but the moment you're willing to get on the bike, let me know and I will coach and guide you. But if you're not, I cannot do anything for you, I'm afraid. So stop letting this bottom 30% take up 75% of your time. Move your time to the middle 40% and the top 30%. That was brilliant. Okay, so moving on. So Connie said there are 5 main ways that people gain attention. People need attention to survive. We need attention. There are 5 ways that people gain attention. And she had us choose one, and then we all had to stand up based on the one that we were. So number 1 is personality. So Fiona McCarthy stood up for personality, and I think Nikki Martin stood up for personality. So these are people that get through life gaining attention on just their personality, their charisma, they're funny, they're a high energy, they're nice to be around, their personality, you're just drawn to them, they're just incredible people. So that's the first way that people gain attention. She had all those people stand up, and she gave them their strengths and the weaknesses for each one, but I can't remember what they all were. Okay, the second one is people that use their intelligence to gain attention. So Zoe Allen stood up for this. These are the people that like to have people asking questions. I know the answer to this, I know the answer to that. You know, when you think about something, you go, oh yeah, I'll go and speak to them about that because they'll know the answer. And they love it. They get their attention from their intelligence. Number 3 was people getting their attention from talent. So you had like Claire Fishington, Stuart Armfield, you know, all the singers and the dancers stand up. And Connie said to me, what's your talent? She was like, I'm a singer. What's your talent? I'm an actor. What's your talent? Chris Isles stood up and he was like, I'm a communication specialist. Oh no, with Bill McFarlane, I'm a communication specialist. You know, all these different people sort of had a talent, and people go to them for their talent. That was interesting. And then number 4, so people gain their attention from just being really nice, just being a nice person. You're remembering people's names, remembering people's children's names, pets' names, their birthdays, what they did last week, just being a nice person. So I stood up for this one. This is how I get my attention. That was really interesting. And then number 5, the 5th way that people gain their attention is by being a troublemaker. So Laura Leggett stood up for this. So this is like dicing with danger, thinking outside the box. It's not being horrible being a troublemaker. It's being a little bit of a bit mischievous. You know, let's try this, let's try that. A bit of a troublemaker. So those are the 5 different ways that people gain attention. So children do this, teenagers do this, and adults do this. You can move as well. You can have had one as a child and one as an adult. Okay, so moving on. So she asked us 4 questions that we had to write down. So if you've got a pen and paper, do write your answers down to this, because this was really interesting, because it actually all means something. So question number 1, I want you to imagine that you're at the zoo. And now I know a lot of you are like me, totally not into zoos, but just go with me on this story. So imagine you're at the zoo and you want a photograph taken with an animal, and it can be any animal that you choose, like a headshot of your face next to an animal's face. So you picture that. Don't tell me what the animal is. Don't need to write down what the animal is. That's not important. What I want you to do is give me 3 describing words of that animal. So I don't need to know what the animal is, but I want you to write down 3 describing words of that animal, about the animal that you're having a photograph taken next to. Now this means something. I'm going to come back to it in a second. So write down those 3 describing words. So question number 2 was, think about your favourite colour. You don't need to write down what the colour is because that's not relevant, but think about that colour, your favourite colour. How does that colour make you feel? I want you to write down 3 describing words, so adjectives, 3 describing words about how that colour is, how that colour makes you feel. So 3 adjectives about that colour. So 3 describing words, like that. Question number 3. I want you to imagine you're in a all white room. So you're sat down on the floor of a white floor with white walls, with a white ceiling, and there's nothing else in the room, just you and this entirely white room, nothing else. Doors shut, white doors shut. There's nobody in there but you, sat on the floor of this all white room. I want you to give me 3 words about how that makes you feel. And you're in that room for 8 hours. Should have said that. So you're in the room for 8 hours, sat down on the white floor, looking around at a white room for 3 hours. How does that make you feel? Okay, and the last question, number 4. I want you to imagine you've won tickets for a week away on a dream holiday. So something that you and your partner or you and your family would love to go to. So a dream holiday for you and your significant other, and if you have children, and children as well. So you and your people that you spend your life with. Don't need to say where you're going, but think about where you're going. I want you to give me 3 words about that holiday, 3 adjectives about that holiday. Okay, so I'm going to go back and tell you what they all mean. So number 1 was the picture with you next to the animal at the zoo. So I thought of a giraffe and I put calm, interesting and different. So what that means is how you want to be. So those 3 describing words that you used are how you want to be, how you wished people saw you as being. So I put calm, interesting, different. So whatever you put, that is how you wish you were, how you wish you came across to people. Interesting. Question number 2 was about your favourite colour and how it comes across. So I thought of yellow. So I wrote down fun, happy and energetic. Now this means how people see you. So those 3 words that you wrote down, these are how people see you. So for me, people see me as fun, happy and energetic. Interesting. Question number 3 was the all white room that you're sat in for 8 hours. Now this, whatever you wrote down for this, is how you feel about your job. Now I actually wrote down bored, lonely and depressed being sat in a white room for 8 hours, and that is not how I feel about my job. So what she said is, if you absolutely love your job, then it's probably not about that. It's probably about your most significant relationship, which might be a relationship with a parent, your relationship with a child, your relationship with a partner. What the most dominating relationship that's taken over your headspace at the minute, it might be about that. So I was like, oh, I don't know if that is right for me, but you know, let me know how it is for you. And then question number 4 was about winning the holiday tickets and how that makes you feel. So the 3 words that you wrote down describe how you feel about your family life. So how you feel about, if it's just you and a partner, how you feel about your partner. If it's just you and your children, how you feel about you and your children. Or if it's your whole family unit, how you feel about your whole family. So it's how you feel about the person that you're going away with, or the people that you're going away with. So I thought of Disney, and I put fun, happy, interesting. So clever. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to a little bit of corporate information. So I'm just going to share my screen because I've got some slides to show you guys. Okay, so this is our Arbonne advantage here. So the things when people say to you, you know, what's so good about Arbonne, this is some of the things that, you know, we can be really proud of saying. So our culture is like nothing else. Swiss heritage since 1980. We are represented in 7 countries and more planned. We're in the top 20 DSA company globally in 2016. Our opportunity, we empower ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Pure, safe and beneficial, superior products, botanical ingredients integrated with green chemistry. We've got the Arbonne Foundation, our charity foundation. We've got our certifications, we're 100% vegan, we're gluten-free, BSCG, EU informed sport, non-GMO, OU and kosher. We've got a strict ingredients policy formulated without parabens and all those other nasties. Our memberships with PETA, the RSPO and FSC, sustainability. We've got a broad line of products, award-winning anti-aging products, clinical results, dermatologist tested and scientific advisory board. Going into Germany, some do's and don'ts there. If anyone wants to take a photo of that. Okay, so this is new. So when people start their business, this is for the UK. When people start their business in the UK, they are capped by a UK law that's got nothing to do with Arbonne, but all network marketing companies in the UK are affected by this. There's a UK law that says when someone starts a business with an online business, they're not allowed to spend £200 or more over £200 in the first 7 days. So what that means is when someone starts a business, it costs them £56 to start the business, and then they buy products that they want to buy for themselves. And if they put quite a few products in, which a lot of people do, a lot of people see this as a very serious business, and they spend like £1,000, £2,000, £3,000. It's what a lot of people do in business anyway. They start up that way. And when people do that, they're capped for 7 days. Their order doesn't get released for 7 days. Their website gets put on hold for 7 days. And it can be quite frustrating. So 2 things. First of all, they're going to make it really clear before a new consultant processes their order. If their sponsor's not there to tell them about this, or they've forgotten, they're going to make it really clear. They're going to make it flash up, bold letters about they can process that order, but because it's over £200, it's going to go on hold. The website's going to go on hold. The order's going to go on hold until the 8th day, so that they can make sure that they can make the choice about that. They can choose, yeah, that's fine, or they can go, oh, I'll take some things out of my basket and I'll wait seven days. Now what they're doing is they're bringing in a getting started pack. So we've got 2 getting started packs. The only difference, they've got the top sellers in, and the only difference is one's got the meal replacement shake and one's got the protein shake, and they choose their flavour of the shake, and they choose their flavour of the fizz stick, and they've got the top sellers in there: the hand cream, the lip balm, the serum, the primer, and the men's I think it's the men's shave cream. So you can use those products as display products, trial products, personally, gifts, whatever it is you want to use. And that means that they also are way under the £200, and they get a free gift because it's over a 150 order, so they get a free gift as well. So that's something new that's coming in, and I believe that's from the 1st of August, but I will double check that. So Kelly talking. This is where we're going for AAC, and that's how the seating's going to look in order of size. This is the agenda for AAC. This is where anybody that promotes to vice president by the end of August will be taken out for a vice president's special dinner, and it's about 10 minutes from AAC, and we're going on a coach. And this is where it is, Kelvin Grove Art Gallery. Bit of details there. And that's all paid for. So this is recognition on stage. Oh, hang on, let me go back. So this is all the recognition that will happen on stage. So yeah, take a picture of that. Okay, so the I Want It All set is going to be available. These are the prices and what you get and the information, and you also get free shipping on that as well. And then also, okay, and then so the I Want It All set is the Christmas line, so that's one thing. There's a second thing, there's new products coming out as well. So the new products, this is the I Want It All discount for the new products coming out. And this is the prices, and for non-AAC attendees they can get access to that as well at they cost them a little bit more, so take a picture of that. Charitable Foundation, AAC Poland, bit of information there. Diary dates, time capsule. We did a time capsule where we put things into a time capsule because it's our 10-year anniversary, and we're going to open it up again in 10 years. Sarah Law talking. Caroline McFarlane. That might be it actually for corporate updates. Caroline McFarlane spoke. Yeah, I think that might be it. Yeah. So some pictures there. Oh, not those. Okay, so Vicky Beckett also said in 2017 to the end of June, we've been growing 15%. 2 new NVPs, 11 new RVPs, 55 new area managers, and 419 new DMs. Amazing. And these are the numbers. Oh, hang on, let me just stop my screen share. These are the numbers for up to July 2017 that we have within the UK. So we've got 21 NVPs, 89 RVPs, 284 area managers, and 1,188 district managers. And we've got 53,942 registered people in the UK with Arbonne, and of that 37,516 are PCs, which is 70%. Okay, let's see what else. I think that's about it actually. I think we've probably got to the end there. So I think that's about everything. So there was probably loads more. I just can't go into absolutely everything. But I hope that that's given you a sort of a summary of VP Retreat and helped you with some of the information. But obviously, any questions, do ask me and I'll be able to help fill you in. So well done for watching this video and for learning everything or bits of what I've learned over the past couple of days. I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.